Welcome to a special episode of the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another special episode of the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel.
And I'm your co-host, Alan.
Today we are here at Millersville University,
where we were invited by the wonderful Dr. Barry Atticks. He has an incredible project that he wanted us to get some inside coverage on by himself and some of his students. So we made the trek down to Millersville, and now we're going to sit down with both Dr. Barry Atticks and those students. Stay tuned. And we are sitting down with the Lilla Jul Rockeband, comprised of Zoe, Caitlin, Jessica, and Dr. Barry Atticks here. So what you guys have created is pretty impressive. It's kind of wild and crazy. And I just want to start right at the beginning of where this all started and how this whole concept, which we'll get into, came to be.
Well, last year we took some students to Iceland to work the European Music Festival over there, and I learned about this legend they had called the Yule Cat. I'm like, what is the Yule Cat? Jólakatarinn is the Icelandic translation for the Yule.
Flawlessly.
Off
camera, we were trying to say this word so many times, and he just nailed it.
So I said it a million times over the last 6 months, but so I had a head start there. But so this legend started in the medieval times, and basically Iceland was a clothes-making society, and everybody had to do their part. So to threaten children, they would say, hey, if you didn't work hard during the year, you wouldn't get new clothes for Christmas. And if you didn't, this cat, which is 2 stories tall, very evil, would come and take your children and take them up to the mountains to eat them. So kind of threaten children into working hard, during the year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like a house cat that's 2 stories high. It's not like a tiger or a lion.
No, it's like a house cat. Yeah.
Okay.
2 stories, just
To
2
paint
stories
an
tall.
mental
Yeah.
image.
2-story tall Fluffy. And Fluffy's very mad if you have
He's
old
very,
clothes.
very
mad.
No,
Okay.
he's hissing and he's taking children away from their parents if they don't work hard during the year, which, okay. So apparently
we make light of this, but this actually led to this story was banned, correctly?
That's correct. The Danish government actually came into Iceland and said, hey, you can't tell the story anymore because children are being traumatized by this story, which is crazy. But then in 1860, it was actually published for the first time. And the video we do actually takes place in 1860 when it was first written down, the legend of the Yule Cat.
That's crazy.
How far back does the story date prior to it being actually
The research that we've done is medieval times.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been around for a long time.
That's crazy. And I mean, you brought up off camera too. It was completely random, but you're like, weren't domesticated cats? Didn't they come from Egypt? So how did they even get in Iceland?
Yeah, I actually was looking up where domestic cats came from because I thought it was Egypt, and I was like, how did because it did date back to the medieval time when we did our research. How did Iceland come up with this cat that is as large as a house to scare the children? When did this come about? Did Vikings go get a cat and then bring it?
A little ice bridge.
And now, and now Iceland
We crossed the
actually
ice bridge.
protects domestic cats.
That's crazy. So, okay, so this is how the story happened. So how did you get inspired to want to write a song about this?
Well, for the last 4 years, we've made music videos in the music industry program here at Millersville.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we thought, hey, why not go big or go home? So we thought, you know what, wouldn't it be cool doing an international video? And when I found out about the Yule Cat and did more research, I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we brought this story to life about, a family that learns about the Yule Cat, and the Yule Cat, terrorizes children's dreams.
That's awesome.
That's such a cool concept.
Best field trip ever, dude.
The past 2 years, I got to work on both of the music videos with Dr. Atticks, and so I wanted to do something on Krampus, and then he presented this idea to me, and I was like, oh, we could totally do it. I was like, we could do it. He was like, you think we could? You think we could? And I was like, yeah.
And we're going to Iceland anyway to do the festival again this year. So we thought, well, while we're over there, we might as well go a couple extra days early and shoot the video.
So with that, shooting the video, so how did you guys end up getting selected to be part of this? How were you guys selected as the performers? What was that selection process like?
I received an email. Well, actually, no. You actually called me in the summertime because, and I was just like, you're like, do you want to go on this trip to Iceland? And we're doing this music video about, it's like an Icelandic folk tale about this big cat, and we think you'd be perfect for it. I was like, okay,
and you were a great bass player.
Well,
too. That's
yeah,
why
I guess so.
I
I guess that part too. But yeah, I was like, sign me up. There's no way I'm not going to do this, be a part of this.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I got an email one day by Dr. Atticks, and he was like, do you have any videos of you singing like any rock songs? And I was like, come to think of it, I don't. And I, like, just no explanation, no nothing. I was just like, all right, like, here's just 2 rock songs. I was in my room at the time just doing nothing. So I was like, all right, I'll just send him like, I'll just play a karaoke track and sing to it really quick. And then I sent it to him, and he sent me the explanation of like, we're going to Iceland this year. And I'm a huge metalhead. Like, I love metal. So like, he was like, yeah, we're doing a folk metal song in Iceland. I was like, explain no more. I'll be
Say
there.
less.
Yeah, I'll
Where
be
do
there.
I sign my name?
Yeah,
Swipe
I
the card.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, take my card.
And one of our student projects last year, Caitlin was the screamer voice on one of the tracks. So I knew that she could scream. I knew she could sing classical, but I needed to hear her rock voice. And once I heard that, I was like, we got to have Caitlin.
And anyone who knows me, I'm just like, I'm a sucker for screaming. But I mean, you were very generous enough to show us like a sneak peek of this video. And dude, this song came together like flawlessly. Like, it's so good. And Barry knows I'm a sucker for screaming. He's like, wait. He's like, my favorite part's coming up. And it was when you were like, we heard the screaming undertones, and I've got to be honest, I was like, dude, I was floored. I was blown away.
Thank
the
you.
layering was
It's
perfect.
amazing.
The balance was perfect. But dude, your growls were like
Thank you.
insane. I was like,
appreciate
okay. I was like, Spirit Box, eat your
Definitely
heart
gave
out.
me some goosebumps for sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
All
whoa.
right.
Thank you.
You got some competition now, finally, Spirit Box.
And it was weird how they came about because we were thinking of either using clean vocals or those vocals. But
Yeah.
then my engineer, Logan Ressler, who did most of the recording for us, he played both at the same time just so I could hear both of them. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds pretty
sounds
freaking
perfect.
cool. Because at
Yeah.
that point, she's actually embodying the cat. So we wanted kind of that evilness come out of Caitlin.
Yeah.
So we kind of had the good Caitlin, evil Caitlin, both singing together. So
And what did that feel like hearing those come forward and like when you're like, wow, that sounds really good? What was that like? As a
It
vocalist?
was hearing the final mix. Because it's especially coming to a music school as well. You hear the difference, obviously, between like live and recorded, and just hearing the journey it took to get there. It was awesome, especially my voice used for it. That was awesome. Like seeing, because obviously my voice is really personal to me. So it was really cool to see my voice used in that context. Even seeing the video, I'm just like, I have to remember that's me. Like I don't even think that's me sometimes.
Even though you're the one with the
Yeah.
memories of doing it.
Like this out of body experience. It's like, oh my God, that's actually me.
I feel like it's really important to say for Caitlin that she actually is a very classical vocalist. She can sing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we were talking off
Like-
camera, and you're primarily classical, like opera based, right?
Yeah. So doing this, like it. I mean, I've also been never put in front of a camera like this before, so it was not this, but
It's okay. Only the entire world will see
like,
this.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But I really having to emote like that for a song in a style I've never sang before. That was really cool. It was really cool to push myself in that way, and also it was clearly something that I would enjoy doing. So I obviously enjoyed it. Yeah.
You bring up a really good point, like the emoting during that. Like,
Yeah.
How did you? Because that's something that I'll be honest, I struggled with when it came to like performing, certainly, especially in music videos. Like you get scrutinized if you like look terrible in your
Yes.
music video. So
Yeah.
how did you channel that energy to make it feel
Zoe,
natural?
yeah, me and Zoe can speak
Rather-
a lot to this.
Perfect. Yeah, please.
Yeah, it was a little cold, but when
Just a little?
yeah,
Just a
I'm
little?
like, I'm
don't
just-
say it was
yeah,
a little cold.
but
Caitlin kept the absolute best attitude the entire time.
for
There were
29
sometimes-
degrees all day outside. Yeah.
It was I think it was the it was the third day we were there. First day of filming. No, by the waterfall.
Second day,
Yeah, that was
Second
like
day.
our first experience, and I was like, oh, it's like all right. I had like Jess like tied this little like yarn thing to the bass, which
bass.
we'll get into, but the bass like carrying that while rain is pouring on you in like several different directions, and you have makeup on, you're like hoping it doesn't like smudge all over your face, but
that's what I was really worried about. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was really raining. I just like, God, by the end of the music video, my mascara is gonna be halfway down my face. I'm gonna look. It's gonna
That
look.
almost would debatably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
better.
thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said
I
that.
don't think it's gonna be Viking
Like
esque.
sea beaten like war makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Well, Dr. Atticks said I couldn't do the war makeup because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do Viking war makeup on their faces, and then the mascara was running, and I was like,
I got my
Getting it
wish
anyways.
anyway.
I got my wish anyways.
When are you graduating again?
So, talk about the production a little bit. I mean, this music video is absolutely amazing. It's
Yeah.
being turned into a short film. Is that correct? Yes. So, where did you guys get I mean, I guess we know where the inspiration came from, but like, where did you start with filming that?
So in the springtime, I had a friend of mine from high school who I had not seen for 30 plus years since we graduated, and I knew he was in film. He shot films in L.A. and New York, and he was owns a bicoastal company. And I was teaching a film scoring class. And I said, "Hey, why don't you come in and talk to the students about being a director in music?" And then we had lunch afterwards, and I kind of pitched this idea and said, "Hey, Danny, we'd love to have you work with the students, and maybe we could work something out." And that day, we were like, "You know what? This is such a cool concept." He said, "I'm all in." His wife's a producer too, so both of them are professional producers and directors.
Oh, that's
so,
awesome.
So then, of course, we get a professional photographer, a makeup artist, a costume designer. So things just kept snowballing there.
Progressing,
We wanted to make it
yeah.
the best possible video there was. So we're very happy with it.
I'd certainly say you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine having like a concept and just everything like legit like pieces just fall together. Like, oh, cool. We have a costume designer, we have a makeup artist, we have multiple producers involved, directors, and you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, just imagine taking that turn. But that's crazy though, because so many people have these ideas of like these big concepts, and dude, this just came together perfectly. And the way you guys decided to shoot things, like, I don't want to give too much away because I want the reveal to be the reveal, but I told you as soon as I started seeing it, you guys just did such a good job setting the tone and the atmosphere of like how you just built up the video. It was flawless. There was not a single part of this video that seemed out of place by any means. It flowed so well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Our little horror Christmas video. Yeah.
Dude, it is so good. But speaking of horror,
Yeah.
so you were talking about the bass. We can talk about the. So tell us about this cemetery
we can talk about
bass.
the bass.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, like, I
I'm gonna
want
hand it to you.
to. Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna do this without looking
I'll
strange.
just show it
yeah,
for
is
a
that
minute. You don't have
okay?
to-
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really like do the process of like hunting it down like you.
Well, what happened was the first morning, of course, we had to shoot in a cemetery for a horror video, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so I was talking to the caretaker, and I went to his office, and I saw all these trinkets on the wall. I said, what's all this stuff? He said, well, people leave stuff in the cemetery. I'm like, really? He said, yeah, they have parties in the cemetery, or they rob cars near the cemetery. They take out what they need and leave the rest there, etc. So then I saw this bass in the corner, and I said, what about that? He said, oh, yeah, somebody left this here years ago. I'm like, how much you want for that bass? He said, why is that? He said, I said, I think this would be great for my video. He said, well, if it's for your video, take the bass. So that morning, we adopted the bass because we were going to borrow a bass that was red and white. And we have to change everything in post-production, changing it from red and white to brown. And this was just sitting in the cemetery morning number one. So it became the cemetery bass that we used for the shoot.
And I mean, how
And
perfect.
I would say that was like a 2-month process. I mean, we're trying to figure out like how we're gonna get, because I mean, I don't know if you know, but like instruments will crack or break, and
Oh, absolutely.
you have to pay extra money to get them onto an airplane, and like Zoe didn't want to bring her bass, and
Oh, completely understandable, too.
completely understandable, right? And so we have, we're trying to figure out this electric guitar and this bass, and we're like talking to these like random people in Iceland, like, can we borrow your instruments for a music video? And so with having a bass, I mean, it was kismet in a sense.
How did that feel though when someone just showed up and they were like, hey, I found this graveyard bass. Congratulations.
It was very haunting, I guess would be the correct word for it.
You're like a little afraid to touch it at first. Like,
yeah, I guess I could say that. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I was like trying to figure out if it was like homemade, because I'd never seen anything like it before.
there's
And
no name on
you
the
can't
head.
really tell on camera, but it's a fretless bass. So I'm like, it has
Yeah,
such
it
a
is.
nice like warm tone to it. It's like,
So you got it
I
actually
love
up
it.
and running and everything, and it plays?
well, it needs a 9-volt battery, but I've been like screwing around with it just like acoustically, like without plugging it
That's
in.
awesome.
And it sounds like good just on its own.
It does sound good. I can
It's,
tell.
watch, you're going to
little
be like, you're going to
scary.
join a band someday, and like you're going to record an album that wins a Grammy, and that's going to be the bass you play on it.
That's honestly like, I want to get this to be my main instrument, and like, yeah.
Oh, that's
cool.
That would be great.
So it went from
yeah.
kind of like
That's
being
so fun.
scared to kind of like, I'm going to treasure this now.
I mean, what a great story.
Yeah, it's true though. It's true. 100%.
Like,
So I can only imagine then too, like you were talking about trying to get these instruments, how are you going to color tone this and all the locations, logistically, what went into this trip?
I would talk about Jess here, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. No, not me, Jess. There's actually, so for the production company we worked with in the wee hours was with Dan Herzog and Ghana Herzog. They did Barry has been to Iceland many times, and so he knew a lot of places, but they were also looking, and then they used somebody, her name's Jess Castillo.
Okay.
And she was just in the background kind of looking for all of these different places, what Airbnb we could go to. Because, to be honest with you, we're all going to school and working and doing our jobs all at the same time. And we didn't get to take off for 5 months and plan this project.
That makes sense.
And
yeah.
so I would say she was a really, really big help, and I don't want her name to be forgotten for sure.
Absolutely.
As well as Ghana Herzog.
Yeah, last year when I was there, it was my first time to South Iceland, and that's where they have all the huge waterfalls and the black sand beach. Actually, Justin Bieber filmed a video there maybe 6-7 years ago on the black sand beach area.
Yeah.
And, I just fell in love with that area, and I was just like, I love the waterfall. I just love the desolation of it. And I think just the landscape.
It's gorgeous.
It's perfect for what this video is all about.
100%.
Yeah.
You guys picked not even just the right location, but just even on the right locations, you guys picked the right angles. You picked everything, what's in the backdrops, because you could have just shot straight out at the ocean, and you did at certain times when the camera's panning, but other times you're seeing the cliff faces on the side. You guys painted the picture perfectly, so you could tell this was legitimate. This wasn't like Photoshop. This wasn't like we made it look like we were in Iceland. It's no, you can tell that's Iceland. There's no disputing it, and I think that was awesome.
I do have a question. So every story has a story within. So was there ever a moment in the entire process of getting out to Iceland and everything where you had almost like an oh crap moment, is this gonna work or anything? Was there anything that went
Caitlin's eyes
talking about, right? Day one, when the lighting director they hired didn't show, and we were doing all the indoor scenes, so we had to call around Iceland, which is a very small country, of course, and try to get a lighting company at the last minute to come in and do a 10-hour shoot.
While we were in Iceland already, that was the second panic attack. That wasn't even the one before we made it onto the trip. We were there, and we were like, "Oh, what do you do? What do you do?" That was the question.
Everyone, we're going to Walmart and get. That's even how we're getting flashlights. We're gonna buy it all and we'll charge it to the school account. It is what it is. We're already here. What was the first oh crap moment?
Yeah,
if I can ask.
Can I say? Yeah. I would say bringing this damn cat to life. I don't know if we're even talking about a cat that's as large as a house, and just when we came up with when he came up with this idea, and we had met Dan Herzog, because I was actually in the filming class that he was talking to, and he was like, I'm thinking I'm gonna ask him if he wants to be a part of this project, and I was like, do it, and then I was like, how the hell are we gonna come up with a cat as large as a house? How are we gonna do it?
You get the whole town together. They just build a paper mache cat. They're like, yes, very intimidating.
Yeah. And I will tell you what, I will believe it at the premiere. Premiere. I might cry.
Okay. So have you guys seen any kind of sneak peeks of the
They've only
CGI
seen the
that's going into
skeleton of the cat, but they haven't
the
seen the cat yet. It's gonna
cat
be the bigger reveal is gonna be next week.
It's
so
hairless right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working with the other guy who came along with Ryan, and he was showing me how he was putting stuff together, and there's not a lot of time. I'm very extroverted. There's not a lot of times where I'm speechless, and he was showing me how he was doing stuff and putting it together, and I was like, I could sit here for hours and just watch you just throw crap together. He was making a die look like it was like a rolling dice.
Yeah.
Making it look like it was disintegrating, and I was like, I seriously don't know what's happening right now. I'm
That's
so
awesome.
sleep deprived. This is so cool.
That's the type of stuff that also blows my mind. I wish I had time to kind of learn that kind of a special effects, because it's when you see that stuff and when it looks so realistic and believable, I'm just like, come on, man. That's some of the coolest stuff, and I know how much work goes into capturing that and making it look realistic.
And also finding a place that we could open the movie with where the mother's reading the story to the two kids. We were able to film at a museum. That house was built in the 1800s, and they let us use anything in the house, which was amazing.
That's awesome.
Part of the museum.
Opened up.
Yeah, they totally opened it up to us, and it was absolutely perfect for the video.
How did you guys locate the actresses?
So we actually interviewed maybe 3 or 4 Icelandic families.
Okay.
So in the wee hours, the production company, they sent. So we were watching all these videos, and there's a lot of running away from monsters, right? So we had to watch film of little kids running away, just running, see if they could run for one thing.
The one just trips over their feet. You're like, out. Cut. Right. Next family.
It was also important too that at least somebody spoke English well, because we had one family where the kids who were at 7 or 8 knew English, but the mother did not, which made it a little bit more difficult in filming.
Yeah.
In this circumstance, the girls did not know much English at all, but the mother was bilingual, so it made it a lot easier. And the mother looked really mean on video.
She looked very stoic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that, it's funny because in person she's so nice, which was weird. But when we saw her on film, I'm like, I think she actually is telling her kids that they will be eaten by the cat, and they're gonna believe her. And that's why we picked her, because I'm like, she actually embodied like, hey, you're gonna pay for what you did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's perfect.
That's oh my.
Make
There's
kids
so many
pay.
things you can talk about with this. Like, quick question: did any of you guys try surströmming while you were there?
What?
Is this the dried fish?
It's that canned fish.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
I
That's
wasn't.
not the fermented shark. Is that something different?
No, it comes in the red and yellow can, and it's like people like. There's so many videos of people like they like can't even like stomach the smell.
Like,
I wasn't brave enough, and honestly, anytime I had time to eat, I was like, I want this to be the best meal I've ever
Yeah.
had.
So
Like,
so speaking of that, what is
Yeah.
like Icelandic food like? How was that? Because I'll be honest, outside of like
Jess and
surströmming, I can't tell you a single dish from Iceland.
Jess and I spent a good time at the hot dog stand.
Yeah, there's a lot of hot
famous-
dogs.
Famous hot dog.
a lot of hot dogs.
I would say
In
that's a
Reykjavik.
That's very
Scandinavian
interesting.
thing.
Yeah,
I would
it's a
think that's like America,
Scandinavian.
you know?
Yeah, but it's different. It's not like American hot dog.
It's probably
very
like
different.
actual good meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it better than our hot dogs?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd eat one.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Well, first off, that's un-American.
No.
Absolutely not. No, I'm just kidding.
Do they
I
use
don't
like
feel
any?
ashamed.
Do they use like any like weird like condiments with them
Yes.
or anything?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's
All
the
right.
biggest thing that surprised me is that like anything that would be like it would be like this white sauce and it would just taste like pepper. Like they love pepper there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
Or
interesting.
paprika.
Or
I would say
paprika,
That's
love
very
paprika.
Taco
That's
very
seasoning. They
European.
have like taco seasoning for their fries there in fast food restaurants.
Yeah, that was
What?
odd.
Like
Yeah.
taco seasoned fries.
Well, we stopped at the KFC, and
Yeah,
there's no mashed
KFC.
potatoes or biscuits, but everything comes with fries. So
That KFC was.
So weird.
like
Is Zoe saying it's a no-go or is it is good?
It was just. I don't want to hate on because like the workers were so nice.
They were
They
so
did their
sweet.
jobs,
Yeah.
and like I'm sure it's not their fault, but like the chicken was like.
but they're known for the Icelandic lamb soup. That's the big thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
lamb is huge over
That
there.
was good.
So
I had that. That
that's
was
the best. That's the best you can get.
You don't go to Iceland to eat KFC.
That's a valid point.
you
That's-
don't. Yeah, you don't go to Iceland to eat produce either. Like you're.
I feel they do. I feel like they do like a lot of like preserving there and stuff like that. Like or not preserve, like curing of like meats and
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, I'll be honest. If I'm going to Iceland, the first thing that's not going to be in my mind is like, where's the nearest KFC?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Look
I
for
guess
the
what, they can't-
bonus
It's just
store.
the
They can't really do much
circumstance.
farming there in Iceland,
Yes,
can they?
Iceland is
Yeah,
very
because it's what, I guess-
expensive.
Yes.
And Icelandic people actually, I was told by the makeup artist that I was speaking to that Icelandic people get really upset with Americans because we come home, we make videos like this, and we say it's super expensive. The water bottles like are $10, and but the water that comes out of the tap in Iceland is the
Perfectly
water
fine.
that is in the water bottle that says Iceland,
Yeah.
Icelandic water. And so it's like Americans go there, buy a plastic water bottle because that's what we do. And they're like, you're stupid. The water comes. I drank the first year I was there, I drank water out of the hotel sink. And it was the best water I've ever
It's
drank.
good.
Or I was very dehydrated.
So
One or the other.
Either one.
But Icelandic
the-
water they get from the springs there. They sell it on Amazon. So actually, since I've been to Iceland a couple years ago, that's all I was drinking is Icelandic spring water and the Icelandic yogurt. It's called skyr, which also is absolutely amazing too. So
Really?
Interesting.
Oh yeah,
I-
it's the best.
Again,
He loves
yogurt, not the thing I would think of from myself. But I guess
Oh
that makes
my
sense
God.
though.
Yeah,
from goat.
no, it's huge.
Well, so I guess there isn't like a whole lot of like agriculture there though, because like the land probably
all
isn't.
dairy, sort of.
Yeah.
Like it's a dairy. It's like the
And goats.
Yeah.
like dairy is their like big export.
But they don't
cows.
have like a lot of like crop farming
no
there. Yeah.
No.
You guys don't like sea moss? You guys don't like lichens? Like, come on, it's
I don't like the
delicious.
lichens.
It's a delicacy.
Yeah, it's
like
an
the
Icelandic. I'm sorry if I offend anyone from Iceland on this. That was strictly a joke.
That's what I'm trying, because like, yeah, everything was so cool. I don't know,
Yeah, it was
like
fantastic,
It
though.
was wonderful.
for
So,
lack of better words.
With all that, I gotta ask, what was the biggest culture shock from like being American to going to Iceland?
I got a big one.
Yeah.
The shower. The shower is so weird because there's two knobs and one is for pressure and one is for like temperature control.
Okay.
That's actually kind of sweet.
It's sweet, but the cabin that I was specifically, it was like a cabin adjacent to the Airbnb, and like our water was just not warm. Like, and I was like, I thought it was like a skill issue. Like, I was like, why am I not able to like turn the dial to find the hot? Like, what's
I would
going
murder
on?
someone for
Yeah.
lukewarm right now.
Please. Just
Well,
had to
especially
come
after-
in. She like tried to fix it for me.
Yeah,
but-
Especially after
Oh,
being out in the
yeah.
cold all day too.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
Our water was
Yeah.
think. Yeah, our water was
yeah, we had
nice.
warm water. No, I went in there and I was like, okay, well then, everybody can just come into the Airbnb and take a warm shower because I don't want you to have hypothermia.
You're gonna pneumonia. Go take your cold shower. Now we're gonna go stand on the beach and shoot for 6 hours.
Yeah, let's do 4 days, 12 to 16 hours a day. Let's sleep for 4 to 5 hours, and then get up the next morning, do the same thing, and then when you want to really sleep, let's go work an international music festival.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
That's how we do it here in Millersville.
So we have not mentioned the name of this song yet,
have
and
not.
I'm not gonna try to pronounce it because we tried this before. So who wants to say pronounce?
Apologize to everyone that I'm looking at my notes, but I'm gonna give this a give this a go. It is Yola Kotrin.
Yeah, I did it.
Way better than I was.
Good. That was good.
All right, perfect. All right, now someone else can talk. I did the name.
Well, all right. So I guess thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Part of my question. So where did that name come from? What does it mean? How did you pick it?
It just means the Icelandic Yule cat.
Oh.
So that's what they call it, and it first appeared in
Oh,
print
that's
in
right.
that
We
book in
did mention that.
1860. Yeah, so that's where we got the name of the song. So actually, the song's in English except for the chorus, which is the name of the Icelandic Yule cat.
Icelandic.
Yep.
So we know we have this music video, short film, getting ready to come out. Is there any future plans with this? We may be dabbling with the idea of like submitting this for certain things. So-
Yes, it's already planned to be submitted to festivals around the world. So so pretty cool. So we're excited about that.
Gotta
Awesome.
get it over to Eurovision. We talked about this.
Eurovision.
You got it.
Gotta do
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I'll call Will Ferrell. We'll make
Okay.
sure it happens.
I'll get to that.
So with that, so I know because this obviously was a couple years in the making, from like start to finish, from concept to whatever. So is there maybe already some ideas for like the next big project that's maybe already being mulled over?
There is some things going on in our head. I talked to the director, and we, since both of us have German roots, we thought we'd actually make like a Krampus video and maybe possibly shoot in Austria, Germany. So that's
You're
a
getting
possibility.
me
So we're
about this.
already kind of
I'm so jealous.
already kind
My-
of
GG.
thinking that,
My
but
good
family
game.
lives.
I'll do anything.
I'll do anything.
Same.
I will fail this year, so I have to
Yeah.
re-enlist for another year to be part of
we
it.
just need your base. That's
I've been very blessed to travel to Germany many times in my life. I have family that is over there, and I was like, "Oh, we can totally make this happen."
That's
But I'm going to
Awesome.
graduate,
so. Then, now I'm really stretching. I'll be honest. I'm reaching real far. So if this does as well as I already know it's going to do, this project, right, and then the Krampus does just as well, which I'm sure it will, because you're going to have all of these amazing professional people involved. Could we maybe be looking at like a theme that we might be doing? We might keep working with some different.
like a series of dark
Christmas.
folk Christmas. Yeah. I actually have.
Christmas
You're gonna
folklore.
make
I actually have a book at home about dark Christmas folklore around the world, and it has. And it's not the many cultures have like these evil Christmas characters. So
You're gonna make your own MCU, Millersville Cinematic
Millersville.
Universe.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now
You
we're
should do
This
that.
would be
Uh-huh.
cool.
If there's any way Alan, Hunter, and I and Chris can all tag
we can
along,
help, you know,
hey,
no big deal. We'll
yeah,
just,
exactly.
Send over
podcast
your
about the
resumes.
process.
Yeah, you got it. It'll be on your desk first thing tomorrow. So, yep.
I'm gonna, for my resume, I'm gonna send you this video and say, checkmate. So, what do you got? But no, dude, I think that's a really cool idea. And I think
I
if that's the
agree.
route you're going, I think that's all. Plus, you guys can take that from me that you guys could technically, legally call it the MCU because you have the reason to. Because it's a
Yeah.
different MCU and that will trend.
Wait.
I don't know if that would go over
wait,
well
wouldn't
in
it be
court.
MUCU, Millersville University Christmas Universe?
No.
MVCU.
It was fun while it lasted, guys. It was fun while I guess you're right. It is MUCU.
Wait, where is the V coming
Oh,
from?
V. Oh, you said music video. No.
Millersville University
No,
Cinematic
I'm
Universe.
just making up
V.
words.
I was like, wait, what did I
I
miss?
like MCU.
Ah,
we could make it work if
MCU.
we
And
wanted.
if you guys want to fight it in court with
I also just want to
Marvel-
throw in too, the co-producer of the record was Logan Ressler, who worked with me, and I mean it
Amazing.
took so many hours of recording that I
was
could
just
not
gonna
do.
bring that
So I think it ended up being 127 different tracks that we used, lots of time in mixing and things like that. So
Amazing.
And so you were the one that originally wrote the song.
I wrote the song this year.
So how did that was where I was going to go with this because I knew we were talking off camera. It was like 127 different tracks. From writing that song from just thought to paper and then orchestrating this and like building it. What was that process like? How did you determine like that sound absolutely not?
It evolved over time. I mean, I was listening to the demo that Logan made maybe a couple months ago, and I was like, hey, this needs a Viking chant. I thought,
Okay.
Yo la Katorin, yo like whatever. So I brought my class in, so we started recording that. We added that, and I said, hey, we need some Viking chants as well. So we also then recorded that. So you hear things like even when we recorded the drums the first time, I was like, I just don't want a drum set in there. I want Vikingish toms, like we're at some kind of ritual. So I got
Makes
some
sense.
students involved who are into sampling and making beats and things like that. So I had 3 or 4 students then submit material for that we layered. So drums alone, we probably layered 25 tracks just for that.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like that's so much production. But I mean,
So
like
definitely listen to it in headphones because when you listen to headphones, you will hear everything that's happening. It's amazing on headphones. Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
And when this comes out, where is it going to be? Everywhere, all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms. So it'll be released on YouTube. If you want to see it for the first time on YouTube on the 12th of December.
Wonderful.
So
awesome.
12, 12,
And
20,
you guys
24.
are having a premiere release for this video.
yes,
correct?
that's on December 8th in Harrisburg, my hometown, and the hometown of our director Dan Herzog as well at Midtown Cinema. So if you check out Midtown Cinema website, there's available for tickets to
Just-
check out the premiere and
Just
party.
Google
and VIP party.
Harrisburg Midtown Cinema.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome, dude. Like,
It's close by for us. so-
yeah, I'm super excited. I think you guys.
Yeah,
Are
you guys
going to have-
you got to come to the VIP party.
I should've said
So
that.
December 8th. What day of the week is December 8th?
It's the Sunday.
Sunday
It's a
night.
Sunday
Sunday.
evening.
We'll be there, but I absolutely believe you guys are going to get an astounding response because I mean, this is no discredit. Like I was like, I didn't really know what I was going to expect to like see and I was like, yeah, I knew I wanted to see it. But as soon as I saw it, dude, I can't say enough good things. I was like, that was so well shot
Like-
from just so many angle choices.
Anything Barry touches, you already know
Gold.
is going to be golden.
Gold.
And it's
That's so nice.
still already like outshot my expectations. That was
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
But I mean, we were talking about it off camera too. Like, for certain people, there's a certain shot in the video where a certain character is standing on a cliff, and it's just like,
Stop
first
giving
off-
everything away, Alan.
Well, I'm like, well, wow, little thoughts of detail that it's like that makes sense. That's where I said nothing felt out of place. It felt so authentic and genuine all the way through, just down to those little details.
Well, thank you so much for
You're very
for
welcome.
including us in this because we can't wait to release it to the world.
Oh, absolutely! I can't wait for you to release it to the world.
Yeah, seriously.
You wanted to say something then, Jessica?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say all of the costume pieces and everything. Like you don't think about how much everything moves when you're filming.
Yeah.
So pieces that are like
Yeah.
belts or like headpieces or anything. They're
pelts.
moving, and then fur pelts.
scarf.
I'm like on set, like trying to like
Safety pin a
safety
fur pelt
pin
to
a
me.
fur pelt back onto Caitlin and like when you see the music video, I was dealing with another character and like their wardrobe, and I mean we're like on the cliff, and I'm like, okay, all right, are you ready? Go. And like I'm like, and then I'm standing there, and I said, nope, we gotta be done. We're gonna lose this piece. Like we're gonna lose it off of the cliff into the ocean. Like,
Never to be seen again.
Wow.
never to be seen again.
That is, oh man, I wish we could talk more in detail about the video. Like I really do, but I don't want to give anything away. The last thing I do want to hit on though, because I know this was a very interesting, kind of weird spur of the moment situation that happened. The character that we're talking about, we're not going to reveal who they are, but this character was doing something during the shooting of the video, and I will let you guys take it from there, however you guys want to address this, because I think that's very interesting.
So Jessica was with this character, and in the film, the character does have some powers, and she was practicing her magical powers, and so I looked away and I heard this scream, and I thought Jessica, who was with her, had fallen over, hit her head on a tombstone since we spent all morning in the cemetery. But here, when she did this, a bird flew out of the sky and landed dead beside her feet. So yeah.
I have a picture of it. It's true.
Yeah.
So crazy. Like, what are the odds of that? Did you guys go by scratchers?
I told her not to point at me ever.
That's a valid thing, because you did just point and something literally just died.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like
was
that
like, there's
Spider-Man
no
moment.
way.
We're just like, whoa.
I do have superpowers. Can you imagine if it was like a kid? Because every kid has tried that, where they're like, if I believe like hard enough, like I guarantee I could have it. And if a kid in that moment was just like, and then a bird died, they'd be like, they would be petrified.
Life
They're
changed.
like,
Nobody's gonna believe
oh God. But no, dude, I can't say enough good things about this. Honestly, I'm so proud of you guys.
Of course.
Of what you guys have put together. I'm
Yeah,
proud
thank
of
you.
the way it sounds, dude. You guys' performance, the shooting, the directing, the concept, everything.
The
I mean,
entirety.
it just as a whole, it is pretty astounding. Is there anything? And I don't want to sound like we're unprepared, but I want to make sure this is your guys' moment. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you would like to share with the world regarding this process?
Well, I think it's just cool that so many students got involved in it. I mean, really, from anywhere from the background vocalist to whatever, we had probably 24 students involved in the project.
Wow.
And I think to give them these kind of experiences where they could go international to film a music video while they're in college. I mean,
Absolutely.
and just seeing that happen. I remember holding up the boombox while they're while we're recording, and just seeing the students all dressed up, recreating the song that I wrote, and it was so surreal, and just for them to have that experience is amazing.
And we're right there. I mean, I looked at them so many times. I mean, it was freezing.
I
Like,
believe
we're
it.
standing on the top of a waterfall. And think about, like, when you go to a waterfall on a pretty day, you're still getting wet from all of the water coming off of it. And then it's raining, and then it's cold.
Yeah.
And then we're like wiping the lens off because there's so much rain on it. And so I just kept looking at everybody. I was like, you're in freaking Iceland shooting a music video. We're from,
That's what I kept on saying.
we're
Yeah,
from
okay.
podunk, like places in central PA. Like, people don't even know the name Millersville University outside of Pennsylvania.
True.
And we're in Iceland shooting a music video. And so I think that was crazy. And the other thing is, like, you can plan as many things as you want, but when you're dealing with Icelandic weather, like,
It has a mind of its own.
we shot at one waterfall and we had planned to go to another one, and we pulled up this van, which Dr. Atticks learned how to drive a van in Iceland, which I felt like we should have said too, which was crazy.
What do you mean learn how to drive a van?
It was huge. It
Oh,
was a
okay,
big
gotcha,
van.
gotcha.
Like, he's carting around all these people
I'm
on
learning
these
this.
like roads.
Yeah, the guardrails are about 1 foot off the ground. We're going over top of mountains, and there's fog, and it was
Yeah.
it was an
You tried to
experience.
play it down.
Little
You
bit,
tried to play
little
it
bit,
down.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, because that foot guardrail is really going to stop all that van.
Oh, yeah.
With 9 people in the car.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But we're waiting to go into this next waterfall, and I mean, you can literally feel the van move. Like, you can feel the wind hitting the van, and I'm like, I don't know if we should do this. I think it's a bad idea. So we
Yeah.
decided, we were like, you know what? We saw that place on the side of the road. It's a little tourist attraction. Why don't we go there? And so we literally backtracked, stopped off the side of the road, and we shot there. We decided to shoot there. And it was just like, oh yeah, we'll just shoot here. And I was like, what is even happening?
Yeah.
What is even happening right now?
I would love to be a fly on the wall in this
Oh my
entire
gosh,
process.
yeah.
That's like I'm hearing all this and I'm like, dude, I'm jealous of you guys.
We
But like
had-
in the healthiest way possible. Like I think it's such a cool experience that you guys got to be a part of.
We had such a great time, like even behind the scenes, like it was all like giggles and smile. Like I mean, when we were, in between like being sleep deprived and hungry
Yeah.
And freezing and
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
everybody had good attitudes, and like even the people that aren't here right now, like Em and Aiden and Ethan,
Shout out.
Sydney. Yeah, like it was
Sydney,
such a great
Ethan.
time with such great
Oh, yeah.
people. Like memories forever.
So outside of shooting the music video, obviously, what was your favorite part of the trip?
Just as like extending for like the whole thing. Obviously like the whole entire thing for me was just awesome, just because like I am a huge metalhead. Like I love it so much, and it was just so cool to be asked to be brought onto something like this. And then after that, we also attended Iceland Airwaves, and so I got to talk to because American metal is good, but European metal is sort of where it's at. So actually,
We can debate
Yeah.
this off camera.
Yeah,
then.
we can debate it off camera.
I can agree with you depending on who we're talking about, and I will
Yeah.
disagree with you depending on who
Yeah.
we're talking about. But
it was really cool to talk to people that grew up with that, and like that's the only thing that they know. Just sort of my favorite part was just sort of getting to enrich myself in that culture. It was awesome.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you can like kind of what's it called, gain some culture.
Yeah.
It's humbling. I mean, the places that I've been around the world that are very different from America. I mean, I already can make a educated guess that I'm probably not gonna enjoy it that much there. It's probably not gonna be my favorite place, but I still always leave enriched because you can learn so many things. You can learn, dude. There are people that live on the other side of the planet and they live like this compared to how we live, and it's always a very like humbling and enriching experience when you can do that.
Yeah.
What about you? What's
What
your
about you,
favorite?
Zozo?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't think I should say it on a podcast, but there was a particular museum that we went to that was pretty funny. You can look it up. It's pretty famous.
Yeah, just
in
look up
Iceland.
museums in Iceland.
Yeah, museums.
Okay.
Yeah, in
just-
Reykjavik. You'll find it.
We actually have no idea what they're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about. Did
we'll
not
tell
talk
you
about it off
after.
camera.
We'll tell you after.
We
We'll
will have
tell
to.
you after.
We will have to Google that after.
Just-
Yeah.
We
yeah,
also
you'll
got to
know.
go to one of the lagoons, which they don't have in the U.S.
Oh yeah, we got to
Yeah.
go to the Sky Lagoon. So nice. It was awesome.
What is a sky lagoon?
It's like a
Do you want to
lagoon.
describe
It's
it?
essentially
Oh,
like
okay.
it's
Well,
like a
Yeah.
spa
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
thing, but
Outdoor.
it's outdoor, and it's like the Blue Lagoon is the one that is not man-made, right?
Yeah, that's the Blue
The
Lagoon.
Sky Lagoon was
The Sky
man-made,
Lagoon is
but
man-made.
it is like the Blue Lagoon, isn't it? It's heated up from the geysers,
yeah, it's
like,
like
from the
natural
actual
hot
Oh,
tub.
so it's like
geothermal.
a geothermal, like natural hot
Yeah,
spring.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was. You guys like said Sky Lagoon. I was like, I have never heard of that. I was like,
was
I
awesome.
don't know
Sky
what that
Zone,
is.
the trampoline park.
Oh, okay, cool.
I do wanna say,
So
though,
it's water and heated by lava.
Oh, perfect. So we're swimming in lava.
Now, and well, actually, not far from it, because last year, 2 days after we left Iceland, they had volcanic eruption. This year, it happened a week after we left. In fact, the cars that were in the parking lot of the Blue Lagoon, the lava came and went to the parking structure there. So that's not good. But we've always been lucky to avoid.
Atticks,
that.
I feel like maybe you might need to start planning your trips to Iceland differently just to save the people from Iceland, because I don't know if it's tied to when you're going.
And the
You're
birds.
causing
And the
these
birds. Don't forget the
eruptions.
birds.
Oh, that's all, he's like, he gets on the plane. He's like, all right, Iceland, good luck. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And as soon as the plane takes off, boom. Like, there it goes.
Dr. Atticks, what was your favorite part?
Yeah.
I think, when you have a concept in your head for a video, like last spring, and all of a sudden then you're actually in the video when you're filming it, there is nothing like that kind of rush, because you're like, I just imagine what it would be like, and all of a sudden we're standing there on the black sand beach during sunrise and seeing everybody perform. I'm like, I'm in the middle of my freaking video that was inside my head, and now I actually get to live it, and just seeing that was amazing.
And you
Very
get to see it with
surreal.
your proteges, like making it come to life too. So it's the people that you've like taught, people you've educated as well.
And I picked them well because I mean everybody in the band and Jessica was such a huge help. I mean they pulled it together and they really made the video like I wanted to make it. So I could be more proud of my these kids pupils.
Honestly, I don't know if there's like a better note to end this on. That is such a full-hearted, like.
Well, we didn't get your favorite part.
Oh,
I guess you didn't.
favorite part.
I would honestly say, I think I have multiple favorite parts because there were so many moments where I was like, all right, well, I guess we're doing this. I mean, all right, I guess I'm going to meet the makeup artist I've never met before. All right, I guess we're going to go stand in a cemetery and film her, and we're going to figure out how to get this piece onto somebody's head. Or I would say being on the black sand beach and looking at the band and seeing how, it's cold and you're on a beach, so you want to like take your shoes off. The ocean and everything, but it's cold. And we're standing there looking at this beautiful, the beautiful band, the everything. And then somebody turns to me and they're like, all right, can you please go do Freya's makeup? And I'm like, yep, be back in 45 minutes. And then we come back and Freya's all ready and we've got her all. And so we got some glam shots and stuff. So I would just say having little bits of pieces of everything all together would be my favorite part.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That
so
is
cool.
just it's incredible, man.
Yeah.
I just am so excited to see this, and I think I can speak for the rest of the world too. You guys are gonna love this.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, well, is there anything else maybe we may have forgot to cover or anything?
I
or-
think we covered it. Thank you guys so
All
much.
right.
You're very.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
thinking to come to us to release this.
Yes, this has been an honor.
Yeah,
to
an honor.
Sit here with you guys and get to learn about this experience. I mean, this is
Thank you.
so
Thank
much
you.
fun for us. I mean,
Thanks for coming out to Millersville too. This
of
is
course.
great.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
showing
you
up.
having
on
us.
location.
Drive
It's
out.
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The
get out of
bill.
Dillsburg.
I
for a little-
appreciate
Yeah.
we made the travel, But I appreciate you guys hosting us here and showing us your wonderful studio here.
Yes.
If you're a student considering a college for music, definitely Millersville. Check them out. Dr. Barry Atticks is a wonderful professor and a homie as well. So,
He's gang.
but so everyone, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure meeting all of you, by the way.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Yay.
Until next time.
Until next time. Thank you.
Well, everyone, that about does it for this special episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, a huge special thank you to Dr. Barry Atticks and Millersville University for hosting us today to get the inside scoop on this.
And now that you've watched the full interview, the actual release of this video will be December 12th on YouTube and anywhere you can listen to music, as well as iRock Radio. The premiere, if you would like to come see the premiere, will be December 8th at the Harrisburg Midtown Cinema. They have a viewing at 7 and they have a viewing at 8, and then there's an after party. So if you want to be one of the first lucky viewers, you know where to go. Also, don't forget to check out all the links at the end of our video then. After that, you do whatever you want.
All right. So, guys, thank you once again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.